It just seems like absolute magic that you can make something so incredibly delicious out of the simplest ingredients, and something that really feels like it's changing your life. It's alive, you know? It's all alive. The dough's alive, the air is alive, trees overhead are alive, and the fire has a life of its own. It seems like it's a collaboration when you're working with anything that's living. It's not you. I appreciate that. Morning, Miss Pen. There we go. It's always a moment that gives me pause and think about bread being truly a sacrament and how lucky we have bread. Oh, look, there's a slug. You really want to be in here? Slug bread could be a new thing. Because it has no chimney, you need to light the fire right in the doorway. And as it heats up, it starts to induce a draft, but it basically doesn't have a draft at the beginning. What I like about simple tasks like this, you know, without having a thermocouple in the oven and a digital thingy and a spreadsheet and all that stuff, is that it's the same for everybody. You know, any person on earth can walk by here right now and be able to relate to this oven and what's happening here and the fire. It has no exclusive position because it is so primitive. We're equals. We are all equals in front of the fire. So this oven has a brick floor, a fire brick floor, and then a concrete slab under that, because you do want a nice flat floor. I think this floor came out really well. And there's an old quarry down the road at my friend Rita and Roland's place, and I got this stone from them. It was a broken stone, but I found the other piece, and it's not very elegantly put together, but I love the stone. Oh, you better get out of there, you know. I don't want to drown you. You're a beautiful cricket. Go on. Good. Smells really good. Look in there in about 10 or 15 minutes and we'll know where we're at. I think it's the simple things that are porous to our love and our magic. You know, joy to me is your full potential realized. That is joy. When all of you and all your experience and all your beliefs and your skills converge to make something that is you, but it is also the universe. There's nothing to me that's nicer than that, better than that. Simple things like working with a hatchet or squaring a timber with a broadaxe or, oh, God, they're all the things that I gravitate to are incredibly labor intensive and not that easy, most of them, to do at my age, but I just love them. I'm gonna get some really nice little baby zucchinis pretty soon. This garden looks okay. Everything got so hammered, but I'm gonna have to rely on this garden more and more because it's flatter and more fertile, and it looked really good 3 or 4 days ago before the rain. Now it looks really washed out, but Raccoon proofing. It's all there and it's all available. When I see articles in the newspaper, you know, of sad 20-year-olds or people who just graduated from college or high school seniors and they can't get a job, I just want to say, I'm sorry you can't get a job, but you know what? There's plenty of stuff you can do. And there's plenty of fantastic things that will probably be, they may not be remunerative compared to what you want to make money at, but you're going to have a high time doing them. And unfortunately, in modern education in the world today, kids never get to know about all of the dimensions of the world that are free for the taking. Everything is like a track toward the global marketplace. Well, what the hell is that, you know? An ulcer and a credit card debt. It seems like don't even think about it. Just come with me and let's make some things and take care of each other and be kind to the earth and discover things and walk in the woods and sing hymns and throw mud at each other and, you know, live. Oh, I think the art of living is the art that needs to be conveyed at this point. We're pushing it for, you know, there's too many sad, overstressed people. Yeah. Too much sitting around and talking. Suzanne, you better get up and get that bread. September 8th, 1987, I got a letter from Julia Child after I sent her a loaf of bread. So here's her reply, a cherished memento. Eugenie. Becoming aware as a child that my father had a mother and that she was no longer living made a deep impression on me. First of all, it was hard to imagine my big, strong dad ever having been a little boy, being born even. His vibrancy, his manhood, to me felt eternal, unchanging. There were no images of her, no photos on the wall, as there were for other ancestors. There were pictures of my grandfather, and since he was still living when I was sorting out these things in my mind, Grandpa was definitely real. Heaven was equally real to me, so as soon as I learned about my French-Canadian grandmother, I imagined her there. But I so wanted her here. There were plenty of old ladies in my life, including my mother's mother, but I missed knowing Eugenie from the start. I felt her absence. By the time I was a teenager, a picture of her did appear on the wall. It could have been a picture of me. We looked so much alike. I remember answering a knock on the door sometime after that, opening it up to find an elderly lady who jumped a bit when she saw me. Then smiling, she said she was looking for the Lupien house, and seeing me, she knew she had found it. An old neighbor or friend of my grandmother's. She had driven up from Massachusetts to find my father, having cared for him when he was a child. My parents were away that day, and the woman didn't stay long, but she told me how happy she was to see me, and that I looked exactly like my mémé. All I knew about Eugenie was that she had come down from Quebec to work in the mills like so many thousands of girls, that she came from Matane, from the Gaspé, that my grandfather married her in Massachusetts, and she bore him 4 sons. They struggled financially on their farm, encountered great difficulty, and still she managed to feed everyone who came to her door. During the Depression, distant relatives arrived from Canada unannounced and were taken in indefinitely. She had the kindest of dispositions, suffered a debilitating stroke a few years before her death, and died before I was born. Haunted by her image, our striking resemblance, I thought of her now and again. As time passed, my interest in things to do with fire, in cooking and bread making, led eventually to building a clay bread oven in the French-Canadian style and to bake bread in it. This was the type of oven common in the land of her childhood. "Where did you get the dimensions for this oven?" my friend Dale the mason asked, incredulous. "It measures out exactly right." "I just went ahead and built it. I needed an oven. I measured nothing," I answered him. I will always remember the first fire in that oven, lighting that initial sacred blaze, and the sound and feel of sliding the bread in on the wooden peel, bringing me right into the lap of Eugenie at last. Feeling her presence so strongly that I had to stop what I was doing and weep and think of her, feel her loving heart and the hardship she had faced as a girl in French Canada. Over the years, I have baked thousands of loaves for eager customers, most recently in a beautiful outdoor oven built by Dale for community use, which swarmed with people on baking day. Every fire I ever lit in the oven at dawn on baking day I dedicated to Eugenie, always wishing I had known her, that we could have been together, baked together, gone back to the Gaspé together. One morning, a woman I had never seen before came to the oven. She was visiting her daughter, who had recently moved to town, and she smelled the bread while out walking. We spoke of French Canada. I mentioned my grandmother. She asked where she was from. I said Matane. She told me she was going to Matane the next day, that she spent time there every summer. So I asked her if she would please take a loaf with her to the land of my mémé, find an old woman on the street and give it to her. Selecting the nicest loaf on the rack, we packed it up and off she went, headed for Quebec. An offering of communion to warm the heart, I hoped, of someone's mémé. Did you find a bash into? Oh, let's see. It's just the tailpipe for my truck.